Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to have you here. So today I will be talking about a very important topic, yes, and it's about the immigration medical examination check for Canada. It's a very important aspect that you cannot skip, you cannot escape, because it's very crucial for Canada immigration, whether as a student or a permanent resident. So you need one of the criteria you have to fulfill is to undergo a medical check, and the result of this medical check is very, very important, because the outcome of it will determine whether you're admissible or inadmissible into Canada. Is that serious? So there are some conditions that could render you inadmissible into Canada. What are these conditions? What are the processes to undergoing a medical examination check? What are the documents? And so many important things you need to take note of in order not to make mistakes, and what I'll be talking about in this video. So let's go straight into it. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Roselyn Adams and I'm happy to have you here. To my returning subscribers, thank you for always coming by, and if this is your first time on this channel, you are in the right place. Yes, you came to the right place. Please don't just watch, kindly like this video, share it, and above all, subscribe to my channel. Make una help my ministry. Thank you very much. Okay, to the topic of today. Today I will be talking about the immigration medical check for Canada. The medical check for Canada is one criteria you have to fulfill when you are vying to immigrate to Canada. So to know that you are ready for the medical examination, you will be receiving a medical instruction mail from IRCC, and this comes after you might have submitted your application, after you have received your ITA, that is the invitation to apply, and you have submitted it. If you have scaled through, then they will give you a letter to proceed for medical examination. So this instruction comes via email. They'll tell you to proceed for a medical examination and biometrics, and then you know you are ready. So you need a proof, and that proof is that email you'll be receiving from IRCC to go for a medical examination check. So after receiving that instruction to proceed for medical examination, the first thing to do is to find an approved panel physician. There are lists of approved panel physicians. You cannot just walk into any medical practice or to any doctor to carry out your Canadian immigration check. No, there are approved list of panel physicians on IRCC website, depending on the city you are living. For me, as at that time we were in the UK, so we had to look for an approved panel physician in our city, and being that we were looking for a very closer date, at that time we were living in Manchester, but the date on Manchester's approved panel physician website was very far for us. So, and the closest one we could find was in London, so we opted for the Knightsbridge doctors in London, and that was where we carried out our medical examination check. So depending on where you're living, I think in Nigeria you can do that with IOM, whether in Abuja or in Lagos. So depending on where you're living, just check on IRCC website. They have an approved list on their website, and you go ahead with your medical examination. What do you do when you have gotten a panel physician? You check out with them. Please, you have to call them ahead of time before going for the test. So after finding an approved panel physician, you have to put a call across to them to know if they are free and to book an appointment. For some of them, a fee is involved, like there's a booking fee. Yes, for us, we have to pay the booking fee to be sure that, okay, the appointment is fixed, and then you pay for the medical check. You can check the websites, and then you know the approved amount for each. It varies. So after booking an appointment and settling all the appointment fee, the booking fee, the medical examination fee, the next thing is to gather your documents. Yes, you'll be needing some documents, and the important one on the list is your passport. You'll be needing your international passport for the medical examination. You'll be needing a printed form or the soft copy of that email you received that gave you an instruction to proceed for medical examination. You will also be needing to go along with your medical records if there are specific or prescribed medications that you're taking. If there are prescribed medications you are currently on, you have to go with those medications or the prescriptions. And if there are so many things, every details, your vaccination records, or every details, medical related details that you need the physician to know, you need to go with those documents to show them. Please be open during your medical examination, because they will be asking you so many questions and all of that. And that takes me to what the medical examination actually entails. What will you be doing during the medical examination? So the medical examination is actually depending on your age. It comprises of physical examination, like they will be doing a full physical examination on you. And for adults, you'll be required to undergo an X-ray, a chest X-ray. If you're conversant with what a chest X-ray is, it requires you to open your chest to an X-ray machine and all of that. They will ask, for female, they'll ask if you're pregnant or not, because I don't think as a pregnant lady you'll be allowed to take the chest X-ray. In my case, they asked me and I gave them as I wasn't pregnant, and I will to undergo the chest X-ray. They will also be doing blood tests, a comprehensive blood test. They will check for syphilis, they will check for TB, they will check for HIV, name it. A comprehensive blood test will be done to check for various diseases. And one of the diseases that may, hinder you from being admissible into Canada is when you have an active TB. Yes, active tuberculosis, active syphilis are one of the things that could render you inadmissible into Canada. They will also be asking you questions. They will bring out a questionnaire kind of paper asking you questions to know your medical history. Please be honest, provide honest answers to all of these questions. And that takes me to some of the conditions that could render you inadmissible into Canada. According to the information on IRCC platform, there are 3 conditions placed in these categories that could render you inadmissible into Canada. And the first one is any condition that could be a danger to public health, especially communicable diseases that could be transferred from one person to another. This kind of diseases could hinder you from being admissible into Canada. One of them is active TB or active tuberculosis, and also any condition that is a danger to public safety could render you inadmissible into Canada. And one of them is if you have a mental health disorder, a total breakdown of mental health, or loss of mental ability, and many more, brain, anything related with your brain, anything that could be a danger to the public safety could render you inadmissible into Canada. And the third one will be any condition that will place an excessive demand on the health or social services, especially maybe because of the cost of curtailing that diseases or treating it, or that could render any excessive demand on the public or that could render excessive demand on the health or social service could render you inadmissible into Canada. So take note of these 3 categories. Overall, the test itself, the medical examination check, takes just about 1 to 2 hours thereabout, depending on the number of your family. And the results are available in days or in a week time. For us, we had our results within 1 week, except for one of us who had an issue, and if I'm ready to share, that constituted a delay to us. So just be open while you are doing your medical examination. Give as much information as you can, especially on your medical history, and everything will go smoothly. So all things being equal, if ERCC assess your medical results and determine that you meet all the medical requirements for PR, then you should know that in 1 week you have your results, and that takes you to your next step. If you pass it, then you might be receiving your PR, confirmation of PR, in matter of weeks, depending on your case. So this is where I'll be stopping today. As usual, If you have questions, feel free to leave them for me and I'll be answering to the best of my ability. Till next time when I'll be coming your way again, my name still remains Roselyn Adams, and it's bye for now.